Hello, hello, hello. This is worksheet 2-6 for Algebra 1, part, part 1. And we are talking about, we're doing kind of a review of absolute value and throwing in some inequality in there so that I can be sure that you guys know your symbols. So this is one of the review worksheets in this topic where we're reviewing more complex equation solving. All right, so in this one, you're supposed to save stuff for true and false. You guys know the drill. Pause it, check yourself, and when you come back, I'll explain how I got these answers. Okay, so in this first one, I gotta work out what's inside the absolute value first. We apply absolute value after all the math on the inside is completed. So first I have to do -14 minus 8. Now remember, this is the Starbucks type of thing. I go to Starbucks, I spend $14 on my credit card, I'm still tired, so I go back and I spend 8 more. I have spent a total of 22. All right, now I can apply that absolute value. So remember, absolute value is spaces away from 0, okay? It's not the same as an opposite. It's always going to go back to positive because it doesn't make sense to measure spaces away from 0 negatively. I don't say I walked negative 1,000 steps today, okay? Distance is just is a positive mode of measurement. Okay, so 22 is greater than 7, so this is a true statement. All right, now this one has a what we call an opposite symbol on the outside. Okay, so first let me work out what's on the inside, and then I will deal with that. Okay, so first I got to do the multiplication, got to follow order of operation while you're inside the absolute value. It's going to be a -6 plus a -8, another adding up your debt situation. And when I add up that debt, I have a -14. When it comes out of the absolute value, it is going to be a +14, but I have this opposite sign. So the opposite of a +14 is a -14, which does happen to be less than or equal to 12. All right, again, I got to do what's inside the absolute value first. So I have 4 minus a -45 in absolute value symbols is greater than or equal to 59. And if I work this out, I can tell you that I'm going to get a positive because 2 negatives make a positive, which is going to give me a 49. Really don't need something like this in absolute value, but it's there. It's there. So I'm going to take it. And it is true that, oh, I dropped my negative. That would have changed the answer, huh? That a 49 is greater than or equal to a -59. So that's also a true statement. So far, everything's been true. All right, so let's do it inside. We've got to do this division first. A positive and a negative is going to make a negative as our answer in that division. Still got to apply those negatives inside the absolute value so you can see what your answer is as a result on the inside before you take the absolute value. All right, so 9 goes into 63. That would be 7 times, so -7. And if I owe $7, but I have 16, that's going to be a 9. All right, so then I take my 9 out of the absolute value, and it's going to be a positive, but I got this opposite of symbol on the outside, so it makes it a -9. Now, -9 is less than or equal to -3. Think of it this way. I would rather owe $9. I would rather owe $3 than owe $9. I actually have more money if I only owe $9 versus being if I only owe $3 than if I were $9 in debt. Okay, so I don't want to be $9 in debt. I want to be $3 in debt if I had to choose one. All right, so I'm going to do this math on the inside. All right, and I'm going to get 2 negative numbers, which is not, we don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm going to accumulate my debt. It's going to be a 52. A -52, That's going to come out of the absolute value as positive. And this is not true. 52 is not less than 13, so this is a false statement. Now, if there was an opposite symbol on the outside of this, it would be in a different story. But we had to have a false sometime, right? All right, so negative 10 plus a negative 8 is less than or equal to 15. Add up that debt. I've spent $18 at Starbucks today. Bring my absolute, take the absolute value of that, get 18, which is greater than or equal to 15. So this is also a true statement. All right, now these fractions probably got a lot of you. There's a couple of different ways you could have gone about this. You could have multiplied by the common denominator, everything, which would have gotten rid of the fractions, but let's do the fractions. I like fractions. Okay, so I got to have a common denominator, and when in doubt, just multiply them together, which means I multiply this one by 2 and this one by 9, which gives me a 10 over 18 plus an 18 and a 27. And there's no negatives on the inside of here, so I'm just adding up, and that's a 37 over 18. All right, so I bring that out of the absolute value, and I get a negative 37 over 18 is equal to, or is less than or equal to a negative 9. Now I gotta find out what this is. And I'm just gonna estimate, because really I just need to know if it's true or false, right? So I'm gonna estimate it, and I can estimate that 18 goes in the 37, about negative 2 point something, okay, which is not less than a negative 9, okay? A negative 9 means I owe more money. So this is actually a false statement, okay? It would have to be over a negative 9 to be less than, okay? Remember, as numbers get bigger on the negative side of the line, they're actually smaller. All right, so in this one, I want to multiply these two together first, 2.1 and negative 1.7. And that is going to be a negative 3.57 plus 6.7. So I know this is going to go to positive before it even gets out of the absolute value. But let's go ahead and see exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a 3.13 in the absolute value. Take the absolute value of that, but it doesn't really change much. It's still 3.13, which happens to be greater than having a debt. That's going to be a negative 72 plus 12.5. If I take negative 72 times 12.5, that's like 59.5, negative 59.5. Let me double check that just because it is late at night. Very good, my old brain. All right, but we have an opposite of. So even though I'm going to take that out of the absolute value and it's going to become positive, I got to do the opposite of that. And this is not a true statement. Negative 102, like think of it like temperature. That's a lot colder than negative 59.5. I don't want it to be negative 102 because I'm pretty sure I will freeze to death. So this is false. The smaller number is the negative 102. All right, so keep trying this until you feel like you got it down. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys in class. Bye.